something there to remind me. Boom, boom, boom. Always something there to remind me. Boom, 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 boom. Always something there to remind me. Dun, 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 dun. Always something there to remind me. Boom, boom, boom. Always something there to remind me. One place I'm contract, there's so down. Always something there to remind me. Boom, 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 boom. Always something there to remind me. Ding dong dong dong. Always something there to remind me. Boom, 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 boom. Always something there to remind me. Boom, 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 boom. Always something there to remind me. CMDI? Oh, I get this man. CMDI, I forget. Oh. Oh, maybe. Let's not open it in SteamVR. Oh shit. Never mind. Working. Always something there to remind me. Hopefully everything was weird stuff. Oh. Oh. That's freaking here. Am I in the hand? Hmm. Let's go. There we go. Yeah. feels that. Okay, I'll do a tutorial. Or not. Stand. Oh. Dude, why is it so hot in here? I'm sweating. Oh my god. Why am I sweating? Jesus Christ. Oh my god, what was that? FOV limiter? That is not what it should be. That is lame. And so no points. Alright, I'm sitting down to play this. Jesus Christ. Rejects. Check shit out. Freaking I feel like I'm in a freaking wheelchair. Obtain trigger pin. It's kind of switchy. Oh. Why can't I put this one? What? Just can't put that one? Okay. Okay, no, no, no. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. It's out. I think. What the fuck? It's gonna. Ooh. Oh my god, that is a. Oh. That's it. Okay. What the fuck? Oi, oi. I'm taking a photo. I want me in one last week. I want to see my face. I don't know. I don't know. Yes. Mm. Oh, my phone, what the fuck are you like? Oh, I'm going to lose a spawn. What the fuck? What's this one? I just go for it? Oh shit, he just started moving. Was there anybody here? Hmm, definitely. Oh, freaking semi. Fuck that. I think it's kind of whack. It's lamer than I thought. I thought it was a lot cooler than that. But that's alright. It was kind of lame. Kind of lame game. Kind of lame game. Kind of lame game. Kind of lame game.
For having me on this tournament, bro. I'm gonna have to wrap it up. Yeah, I'm like, you know what? I appreciate you for coming, bro, and getting the opportunity. I'm always gonna be FTC. I always gonna be like, you know what I'm saying? Nah, fuck it. Let me do a basketball 1-on-1 shoot, bro. Yeah, let's do it, bro. You got any more tournaments, bro? Just give me a heads up ahead of time. Pull up. Thanks, bro. One last thing. Yeah, shoot. You get one of your Omeys, like, you know, like an Omei 5? My man, what is that? Omei 5. Bro, I'm turning 30 this year, bro. I don't know what the fuck that is. I'm sorry. Can you hit the button one more time? Man, why you got me muddy? I love you, Flame. I love you here, man. Appreciate you having me, bro. I'll see you soon, man. See you soon. Thank you so much, man, for real. Okay? Set a free throw line down to talk about next try. Michael Jordan did it better. Curry does it better. Here, watch this. Ready? Watch this. I'm about to go to this. It's the best. Look, you got a gun that can aim long range. you mean? Like, bro, listen, this is not cool. What I never finished. Trademark. I think cars, and they look like the other cars in real life. You feel me? But it yeah, appreciate you, Speed. What you mean, bro?
This travel hat?
You better pick me up. Whoa, wait. How old are you right there? You. Wait.
Thank you.
I did it. You take big steak and make really little sticks. And then make medium sticks and use the big sticks at the end.
You ever wanted to
So slight. Yeah, bro, you know I got you. Oh, yeah. Yeah, birthday. Yeah, birthday. Yeah, birthday. On a FaceTime call, huh? The whole front just fell off. There's somebody on it. Can you video? Say, we just unlocked the memories. You gotta click R3, bro. It's on there, bro. You just gotta click R3, bro. What?
Did I hit it?
Sorry to his family. This is a person right here. Oh shit. Oh shit, bro. Yo. Whoa.
This is your friend.
Sorry to his. Yo. Oh.
This is your present. I didn't know what to get you because you're so handsome. Right now, you're so millionaire. Fast, bitches, money, clothes, cars. God, what can I get you? My chat said that I'd like to expand your collection.
What can I be trying to like?
What about British?
What's this?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's triple Elvis.
Get up, man.
What is this? What's this? Yeah. Santa Claus? What's if I balance this on one finger, I get the bill for free?
Has it? What do you give this to all the customers? Has anyone ever done it? Alright, cool, I'm gonna try it. Wait, I'm gonna try it. Let me try it. One finger, yeah? Go, Doug. Wait, Doug. Oh, on the tip? Nah. Can I use something like this, no? Doug, there you go, one finger. That's what I've done on it. One finger. I think I have it. Wait. Watch. No, I've never done it, Doug. Don't worry, I'm getting naked. Don't worry. Don't worry, don't worry. Don't worry. You ready? So one finger. Do you think you can do it? Do you want to try? One finger, right? Think. You know what? It's physics. So this is. I go. Fuck. Heavy, right? No one has done it. One finger. So think. I'm gonna do it. Watch. Ready? Ready? One, two, where? Three. Look at that. Look at that. That's the tip. Yeah? Look. Wait, we need to change finger. Look. Look at that. Balance it on there. Huh? So that means 3 mil. Look, take the belt off and it's full.
Skippy toilet. Don't forget to invite me to the lobby for the Diddy Party live event.
Okay, fine. We slip.
Sure, drop me a bogey.
The bald eagle is now the national bird of the United States. Did you realize it wasn't? President Biden signed a new law making it official. Bald eagle has been a symbol of the power and strength of the U.S. for more than 240 years, but now it is the United States bird. The bald eagle is now the national bird of the United States. Did you realize it wasn't? President Biden signed a new law making
Bald eagle sounds in movies are actually reptile forms.
it official. Bald eagle has been a symbol of the power and strength of the U.S. for more than 200 Bald eagle is that mixture.
there's a table in the back. I bet you there's a fucking table in the back. I love this stewardess. Give me the table. Give me that. Hell yeah, they got the table. It's fucking sentence in there. Fucking table, dude. You don't get the table. Shit. Is that a... Holy shit.
Send up the next little boy. Come on, truck, occasion, guard. Don't let me pull it out this bag here. Okay.
Santa Claus has been shot down by the Iron Dome in Israel. Go straight now. Police correspondent Bill Badbody for more. That's right, Penny. The IDF stated that a large sleigh being drawn by reindeer was taken down at 6 p.m. this evening by the missile defense system after mistaking it for Hamas rockets.
Serious, gang. Watch your mouth, gang. How old are you? Look at me. How old are you? Watch your mouth. I'm joking. You think you're doing a funny? I'm not joking, gang. Watch your mouth, bro. You understand me? Listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me. No, I'm not even trying to. Listen to me. I understand you oblivious and you learn things that's around you. You feel me? But it's not always good to say certain things. Okay? You hear me?
No, that's not saying.
Okay, but listen. I'm telling you. Look, bro. Listen to me. I'm serious. Okay. You don't have to say those things at your age. Do you understand me? You shouldn't be saying them things, period. Look at me. I'm telling you from brother to brother. Serious, gang. Watch your mouth, gang. Huh?
Why do I go on Vegas?
What? What?
Yeah.
Hold on. Whoa. Hold on. Let me tell you something. No. Let me tell you something. How old are you? Tyrone versus.
I see him. Got a hit. What? What a jeez, oh my god, what the sorry, but what the what a fucking asshole. I don't mean that in a bad Jesus. Why would he do that? Legit, why would he do that? Yeah. Oh yeah, dude.
Your brother is. He's still alive, right? You know you gotta make him proud, right?
Yeah.
Listen. For Christmas, I'ma cover this whole thing. Okay? No, I'm gonna pay. I'm gonna give him $16,000 to pay for his whole hospital bill. Okay? So make sure that he's all good. So shout out Bakari. I don't know if you're gonna see this, but I know your mom upstairs. Make sure that he's going good because I know you've been going through a lot. She's been texting me and saying that you've been going through. I know, no, but you're texting me from somebody else's number. Your brother is.
You said there's two things. What is it?
Let's play Rivals, dude. I'll play. No. Dude, I'll play. I'll try. No. Ballistics? No. Question. Pocket pool. Do you even have it downloaded? Answer, no. You don't have to download it. It's in the game. Huh? It's a game mode, isn't it? Marvel Rivals? Oh, it's not a Fortnite? It's not Epic made? I thought it was within Fortnite, to be completely honest. Just kidding. No, you're not. I'm not at all. I didn't realize it's its own game. Oh my god. I thought it was within Fortnite. I was like, wow, Fortnite's taking over. You are an anomaly, dude. You thought it was in Fortnite. You thought that all of that was in Fortnite. Yeah, it looks kind of like Fortnite, to be honest. What are you, 100 years old? Brother, I don't have time. Listen, I'm married with 3 kids, 1 on the way. I have meetings and emails when I end stream. I'm not sitting around getting jokes fantasy, watching stream. The TikToker Vex Bolt's career might.
He was on display for everyone to see.
Hi, mate. What are you doing? Hi, mate. What are you doing in here? This isn't a good spot to hang out for Christmas. Rocky Moses. I don't even know how I got in here. There's no trees in here, mate. There's only pipes, and some of them are hot. And I don't think you've done your induction. You haven't even got a heart on. Excuse me, good sir. Have you done your induction? You're not even wearing a gas badge. Christmas Eve, and you're out here going to get yourself into mischief. Maybe you just come to get the scissor lift. So we could get up the high street good. Get those good gun laughs. Don't you attack me, will you? Hey? What are you doing? You're in good condition. Just out here working Christmas Eve. While I was walking through the middle of the gas plant. Well, we're going to have to try and get him out. Excuse me. Hey. I don't think you can park here. Look at him, he was breaking into the scissor lifts. So, there's not one tree around here. I don't know what's going to have to happen here, but see that garbage bin I got there? I'm probably going to put you inside it. I know that's pretty terrible just before Christmas to put you in a bin, but I'm going to try and get you in there. You. In this bin. And then I can take you outside
way over there to where there's trees. Otherwise, we're going to climb up a hot pipe and we're going to be in trouble. Better put my gloves on here. HV racking gear I might be able to throw over the top of him. Alright. Don't be silly. Look at the size of these claws. Really get you into mischief when you're trying to deal with a fully grown koala because they can be very savage. You look cute and cuddly, but deep down you're a killer. Buddy. Right there, smoke you up there. See those massive claws and that big mouth of yours? Please. Oh. Oh. Alright, give it up. Here we go, here we go. Hey, buddy. Oh, he's super pissed. How good's that? I delivered one of these koalas to you for Christmas. Whew, that was actually easier than I thought. Hopefully, took a big jump there, got a bit excited. You know, take this bin out and trek out to the bush. Who are we going to book this time to, Backy? Can't be right. Christmas spirit. Alright, so we've driven our little koala friend, his little 5-star transportation pod, out to the bush here. It's a nice big tree. Heaps of trees around. We're in the thick of it here. We'll get him out. Alright then, koala. Open her up, mate. Hold that. Hey, buddy. You got better things to do on Christmas than hang out near. Here you go. Boop. Hey, check out this tree out here. You right, mate? Check out this tree. What do you reckon? He's like, where have you guys brought me? Is anyone... Is there candy canes around here or what? You've been pretty well behaved, to be honest. I don't know if you're a girl or a boy. I can't really see down there. Oh, I can see a little set of furry Jingle Bell balls there. You're a little man, are you? Alright, what do you reckon? I'll get out of your way so you don't feel as intimidated. There you go. Yeah, crikey. Hey, I just want to talk about our good Lord Jesus Christ. Look at him go. That's better, isn't it? Hey? Well, you don't have to go any further. I'm not going to come chasing you. Merry Christmas. Good luck. Make sure you don't get chafed from those furry little balls climbing up that hindbark tree there. That messmate. Oh. Another good get seed done. Good. Help them, mate. Running head down. So nobody's gonna help, really? Why you gonna help? What's there?
Oh my god.
Given the chance to step inside. Word? You got a knife in your hand. What you think you was gonna do with this? Oh, come on. Hands over.
That might come in handy.
For what?
You want a piece of me? Come at me, Bruce.
I am.
I can't believe they let amateurs like you make decisions.
Amateurs.
Be complete if I could just get inside for a bit.
Count them teeth? Man, Ludacris is right. Jabba jaws. Is that what he meant? Look at them teeth.
Show me.
Okay, oh.
You got a good eye for quality.
Oh, do I now?
Looks like you made a smart choice.
Damn right. The waist body tie. Just to give me
is this guy? You need legs. Fuck you. I got you. I got that from my boy Leak.
You'll find me worthy if given the chance to step inside.
Worthy? Okay.
Oh, don't worry about that guy. Sorry. Yeah. Hi. How are you? You have? Oh, nice. Just taking pictures, videos. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much. It's nice. Yeah. Nice. What's your name? Megan. Nice to meet you. Oh my God. Oh, very cool. I'm still in it. You're living in Tampa now? That's weird that I knew that. Yeah. How you guys doing? So I'm hanging out with my friend here. She didn't see it that whole time. That whole time. Walk her over there. You got it. You got it. You got it. Oh, don't worry about that guy. Sorry. Yeah. Hi. How are you? You have? Oh, nice. Just taking pictures, videos. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much. It's nice. Yeah. Nice. What's your name? Megan. Nice to meet you. Oh my God. Oh, very cool. I'm still in it. You're living in Tampa now? That's weird that I knew that. Yeah. How you guys doing? So I'm hanging out with my friend here. She didn't see it that whole time. That whole time. Walk her over there. You got it. You got it. You got it. Oh, don't worry about that guy. Sorry. Yeah. Hi. How are you? You have? Oh, nice. Just taking pictures, videos. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much. It's nice. Yeah. Nice. What's your name? Megan. Nice to meet you. Oh my God. Oh, very cool. I'm still in it. You're living in Tampa now? That's weird that I knew that. Yeah. How you guys doing? So I'm hanging out with my friend here. She didn't see it that whole time. That whole time. Walk her over there. You got it. You got it. You got it.
My mom wants to learn English so bad. She wants to make a TikTok account. So, say something. Hello, guys. Say something else. You want to learn English so bad. Hello, guys. That's English so bad. She wants to.
No petting? No pet? Can I pet? Real quick. That could be sexual battery, right? Essentially, just saying. No, I don't. I have kids. No pet? Can I pet? Real quick.
It's not worth. Into the highway there reads one less CEO, many more to go. We don't know who's responsible for this message, which agency operates the sign, whether it's WatchDOT, SDOT, or a private company, and how this could have happened. So we're
These are Andy Zippos. They're called Andy's Underground Pipes. The artist, he went by only by Andy.
This is not a wig. It's fucking real. If it was a wig, it'll fucking come off right about now. Yeah, I got it in black. You like my shirt? It says Mount Vernon. Cause that's where I actually live. Hometown. This is not.
for example, the guy's a 300.
Hey, Stacy. Do you want to go out sometime?
Say Merry Christmas, Santa. Ask Santa if he found the elf. Did you find the elf? Yeah. Ask Santa if you should leave him cookies tonight.
You leave Santa cookies and milk? Santa wants chocolate milk. You do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Say bye, Santa.
Ask you a question. Sure thing, bro. So do people that manipulate the market and they sell these like shit coins and they promote these shit coins, is that what's fucking up the market?
I'm telling you, dude, like, I'm not even exaggerating. Like, I had, like, somebody try to take a hit on me. I was calling all these corrupt fuckers out. All these...
NVIDIA received a subpoena today for an
I do not have to have a driver's license to drive a car. This is not a commercial vehicle.
Okay.
I know my rights.
Okay. You're under arrest. It's spelled with 4 letters, I believe.
It's not a good look. Women don't respect it. Kind of makes me look like a bitch. I like it. It's not a good look.
Don't buy the renegade burgers if you respect better taste than your big.
Used to take pictures of my dick and color it. Because you can draw on Snapchat and send it to my friends as a goof. It's a fun goof. It's a very funny. rules. Just sent it straight to my story without coloring on it at all. Soft Venus. Just a picture of like a bushel of dupes and like a softie.
Show me your Christmas gifts. What you want to get for Christmas? Your wish list.
I want a bunny. I want treadmill. I want a football thing. I want a 4,000 sweater. I want this in my basement. Case size.
Hey guys, here's my thing. Hurry, fish shrimp. Big 7 and 7. Bounty fruit and pie. Wonder pie. Jesus.
Merry Christmas! Tomorrow's the big day. I heard Santa Claus got a BBL this year, so I hope you've got the XL chimney so we can squeeze those playful butt cheeks down there and deliver his special presents for you that you've been asking for.
The fuck? Can like a GTA 6 trailer drop today or something, please? Like that would be a Christmas miracle. La, 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 la. Good. Looking good, looking good, looking good. I'm just checking.
Keep the change.
Search.
Crispy, right?
Dub Game gifted tier 1 sub to Defocus 89. They have given 106 gift subs in the channel.
Thank you, Dub Game, for the gift sub to Defocus.
Shoshi 19 cheers, cheer 1.
Thank you, Shoshi, for the bit.
Picture, he's fucking cheating.
Oh, you're in that server, yeah, wait.
Right, I'm just gonna jug this with Gyazo Envy and re-upload it on Twitter for my own. Unlucky. This is a light. Your server.
My public or private?
I don't know.
It has to be public.
Called,
I think this is a
Gyazo-
public one.
Yeah, there was no password.
Wait,
so-
I'll join there.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
also working on this.
I'm just stabbing Envy in the back.
Well, let me see.
Whoa.
It's
He's
Tiberius.
texting my phone. Oh god. Luda sent you a snap, and it's a red chat. Oh, it's just him being jolly.
Oi! Oh, sorry, that's loud.
Wait, stop, man.
Oh my god, my game's cooked. What? What? It just cooked my whole game.
Are you joining?
Yeah,
We're having like a
wait,
really
wait,
romantic
wait.
time.
Oh, we have train now on the public one. That's nice. Let me see. Shooey!
Wait,
My
Envy's
god,
trying
I'm
to-
pushing fade. I'm for fade. Hey. Wait. Stand next to stand next to each other and have your M4 out and look a little bit. Yeah, like that. Wait. And then CL draw HUD 0 r/draw
We getting
view
better
model 0.
lighting?
No, it's fine.
Vince, fuck off.
Well, not in the picture.
Stay.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
There we go. Beautiful. Did it take
Beautiful
screenshot?
dog.
Wait, no, it didn't. Wait. Look, Sams, look back. It didn't take a picture. Wait, Envy, take your M4 out. Sams, look a little bit more to your right. There we go.
You want an action shot?
There we go. Yeah. Both reload at the same time.
How are we meant to do that?
I don't know.
Okay, oh,
There's a slight delay.
I just had 3 to 1 in chat.
okay, you do it then.
Sheesh!
Get it?
Yeah. Sheesh. Nice. I'll look back at this when I'm 60 and be like, why the fuck did I send these guys Christmas gifts?
Man, this shit back, man. I don't want this shit no more.
Bro, huh?
Why is the door not open here?
Alright.
Let me see. Wait, Envy already put that. Wait, did it have the sticker, Envy? Or did you put it?
I said he already put he already did a like heart craft on it. He's
That's so cute.
Wait, bro, where are my skins?
Here.
It had it on? Yeah, okay. I wasn't sure.
Damn, with the fucking water on the shit.
Where's the knife?
Yeah. Yeah, damn.
You want to see the knife? Here you go.
Yeah, let me see.
Oh shit! Oh, damn, who just pinged his fucking cabbage up like
Chug.
across the
Wait, who wanted to see the knife?
You can throw
Vince?
the knife so
Yeah,
far.
sure.
Here.
This shit, ready? Yeet.
I have it, Ivan.
Oh, okay.
Why
Well,
can
the
you throw
cookie
them
animation is
so far?
underrated. That's fucking.
Look at this shit.
True.
Yeet.
The cookie animation is actually sick.
And I just
Somebody
stab him in
stole
the
my
head.
shit. Oh no.
Yeah, bro. Where am I? There's a karambit. Who's
Fortnite X Cyber. Oh yeah, it's in. No, 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 no. No, no, no. Good boy. All I want for Christmas. Yay!
Do was wait. To say I was anxious in the coming days would be a complete understatement. I felt completely powerless, and my mind was restless as the clock continued to tick towards an unknown deadline. What if it was destroyed, and there was something I could have done, in retrospect, to have been just a day faster and save it? As the clock marched on, all I could do was wait. November 6th. I woke at 4 a.m. to several Discord notifications on my phone. The owner of the restaurant had received the letter and reached out to Abibi. The owner was willing to give me the TV for free, as long as we handled the transportation on our end. We had until November 20th to get it out of there. 14 days. All we had to do was let the owner know when we planned to pick it up. This was incredible news. The TV had not been destroyed, we were not too late. 2 weeks was still a really tight schedule, but it was within the realm of possibility. We began calling and emailing every business we could find that might be able to help us. Moving businesses, storage companies, logistics corporations, full-service immigration services. But to my dismay, none were able to help. Maybe they could if we had more time, but once again, time was not on my side. But sometimes life has a funny way of working out, because Abibi, once again, was here to save the day. It just so happened that his friend Chihiro worked for a company that regularly shipped large industrial equipment internationally. And through connections, string pulling, and lots of paperwork, a plan was set in motion and a quote was sent my way. They could handle everything. Down the stairs, out the door, to their warehouse, crated up, airshipped to the United States, and box truck delivery to my parents' garage, all before demolition. But there was one catch. Doing this would have cost me a lot of money. Like, used car amount of money. And as someone attempting to be a responsible adult, I simply can't justify burning that much money on something like this. But I can justify burning Shopify's money on this. If you have any interest in ever running a business, you should know about Shopify, the sponsor of this your product. The tools in Shopify so much more, any scale. Personally, and around controller colors. With Shopify, free now with sponsoring a large wire hand, I was able to make the irresponsible decision of sending a very large wire transfer to a stranger in Japan. Now it was Abibi and Chihiro's turn. Chihiro recruited a contact experienced in moving heavy machinery abroad by the name of Mr. Takahashi. The three of them went out on an adventure back to Chikamasoba to work out a plan. Mr. Takahashi assessed the scope of the task at hand, while Abibi used a Mr. FPGA to verify some more tests on the TV. Mr. Takahashi also graciously agreed to store the TV in his warehouse until he and Chihiro could complete the customs paperwork. On the day of the big move, Mr. Takahashi showed up with a team of movers. He had warned the movers about the size of the TV, but from what I was told, I don't think anything could have mentally prepared them for this behemoth. Once mentally collected and prepared, they wrapped the TV in extra padding and netting to allow better grip for more people. Then, they carried it down the stairs and into the truck. From there, it was off to Mr. Takahashi's warehouse, where it would be crated and await paperwork for international shipment. January 16th, 2023. The big day had finally come, and the mythic cargo was finally here. Unloading from the box truck into the garage was a breeze with a pallet jack, but I knew uncrating it and setting up this 440-pound monster was going to be a different story. So I put out a call for help, and my friends answered. We all gathered at my parents' garage and took part in an unboxing experience like no other. And finally, after plugging it all in, it was time to test it and find out if it survived the trip. The TV had survived the trip. We knew exactly what we had to do next. Hook up a GameCube to the 480p VGA input and play some Super Smash Bros. Melee.
Where are you at?
The unboxing and setup was an absolute blast. I have the full video as bonus content on Patreon, Floatplane, and YouTube membership. And finally, I lag tested the 480p input to confirm that it is, in fact, completely lag-free. But why on earth would this CRT have lag? This TV featured extremely sophisticated and advanced technology for the time that allowed it to frame buffer and deinterlace all standard definition 480i video into a 480p output for the screen. Video processing can improve an image, but it can also have the opposite effect. And worst of all, early video processors were notorious for adding lots of lag. But in addition to several standard definition 480i inputs, this TV has a single 480p VGA input. This 480p input bypasses the buffer circuitry and spits the unprocessed video signal out straight into the picture tube. No lag, no processing. A retro gamer's dream come true. I can even use modern lag-free external scalers to play 240p games or even run other 31 kHz signals like 960i. A question I know many will have at this point is, does it work with light gun games? And the answer to that is yes. Yes, it does. I was able to get Duck Hunt working by running it through a line doubler into the 480p input. To get it to work, I did have to turn up the brightness though, as this CRT has an absurdly long phosphor decay. It's so hard to convey just how big this thing is on camera, so I thought I'd compare it to a few other CRTs. Here it is compared to the 27-inch CRT from before. The surface area is 153% larger, or over 2.5 times the size. Here it is compared to the world's smallest Trinitron, at 3.7 inches viewable. It is 12,556% larger. Here it is compared to the world's smallest color CRT, at 1.5 inches. It is 89,900% larger. And here is the world's largest CRT display compared to the world's smallest CRT display, a half-inch monochrome viewfinder. It is 809,000% larger. The KX45ED1 was sold in two variants, a base model and a premium model with more bells and whistles. This is the fancy model, and the owner included all the original add-ons. This included the original shelf, the integrated TV tuner on a tray, and the detachable speakers. This TV is no joke. But why was it sitting on the second floor of a soba restaurant? Who was the baller that bought it? Why did they buy it? And how did it wind up on the second floor of that restaurant? I really needed to know. But before I asked for even more, I thought it was time to show some gratitude for the people on the other side of the world who helped make this happen. So I had my friend Alice, who has a YouTube channel of her own, 3D model the TV and stand, which she did in extraordinary detail. Then I 3D printed a few of them to send to Abibi, the original owner, and Shihiro. Abibi, the hero he is, then arranged an interview with the owner of Chikama Soba to find out the juicy details of this TV's origin story.
もともとね、ちょうど時代バブルで忙しかったお客さんは1階と2階にちょっとね、振り分けて案内させていただいた時に、ちょうど上の階にスペースあったじゃないですか、四角く。あそこにテレビを置こうと思ってたんですけど、当時それにフィットするテレビがなかったんですよ。
Around this time, the owner's dad met someone from Sony, and they became friends.
ほんでその仲良かってなんかテレビないかって言った時にですね、たまたまソニーさんが40インチでしたっけ、テレビを43インチか、テレビをたまたま出したんですよ。でそれでソニーさんが出して、でそれでうちの親父ちょっと新しいのとか好きなもんですから、 すぐ購入して、であそこに設置して。
I was surprised to hear that he had seen the discussion online surrounding the photo taken of the TV.
初めて言われて見たら、あ、ほんまやってて勝手に撮ってるわと思って、ほんでそっから見たらそのテレビを発見したので、なんかブワーって書かれてたのまでは見たんですよ。うん、で見たんですね。
Then we got to hear Operation Big Boy from his perspective.
まあ、ほんまにね、解体する1ヶ月前でしたっけね、来られたんで、いやこれは運命だと思って、僕としてはこれどうしようって思ってたんですよ。誰か引き取りおらんかなって思ってたんですけど、だからほんまに欲しい人来はったらあれやけどっていう話を、まあ、妹としてる時に、なんか2階に上がってテレビを見たいって言うて上がっていった人がおるでっていうのを妹が僕に言うてきて、でその時は誰っていう点で見に行った時にお二人方が調べてはったんで、それでまあ声かけたわけですわ。
I am so happy we were able to save this TV, and it sounds like the owner was too.
いやもうだからもうね、あれを見つけはって、であれを再生して使うんであれば、もうそれはそれでうちとしては廃棄するよりも必要なとこに行くっていう方が僕的にはいいんですよ。でもやっぱ重たいですからね、あれ。
Sony put out some really crazy tech in the late 80s, and
What?
he really seemed to have an appreciation.
I'm guessing you're staying here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just checking. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Alright, well, I don't know if I'll be home. Well, we're not leaving yet, so I'll say goodbye before you leave. Maybe you're gonna get some sleep before you go to work.
Yeah. I will.
Okay.
Love you lots.
Don't forget your note, or did you already take a picture of it?
Oh no, I sent it to them.
Right on.
You got it. Thank you.
For it all.
あの当時のソニーは良かったんですよ。奇抜なね、なんかウォークマンでもだんだん奇抜なウォークマン出したりとかして、面白かったんですけどね。
Even the president of Sony at the time understood just how special this TV was.
5年過ぎたぐらいにテレビが映らなくなったんです。まあ、うちに来てるお客さんで、そのソニーの社長さんとちょっと知り合いの方みたいな人がいはって、もったいないと、あんだけのテレビが映らんであそこに置いたのもったいないと。ほんでまあ一応事情はその人に説明したら、俺が言うといたるって言うて、ほんでなんか社長さんの方に直接行って話が行って、直下で降りてきて修理させてくださいって言うて修理しに来てました。一応昔のソニーが一番ね全盛期の時の技術突っ込んだテレビじゃないですか。テレビの時の機械はなかなか壊れへん時の、やつの時代やと思うので。
This TV really was a special piece of Sony's history, and an incredible feat of engineering. A promise like that from the president of Sony at the time really shows the pride they took in this product. But I wanted to know even more about this TV. Through lots of searching and a little bit of luck, I was able to find someone who I knew could tell me even more. A lead Trinitron engineer. He still works for Sony in a senior position, speaks English, and has given public talks on Sony's behalf. I found his LinkedIn and took my shot. To my surprise, he quickly responded and seemed quite eager and enthusiastic to talk to me about CRTs. Not only did he design many of the Trinitrons released during the same time period, he also knew the lead designer of the KX45. The technology was obsolete, all patents had expired, and whatever trade secrets remained held no competitive utility. This was an incredible historic opportunity to archive Sony's legacy and historic dominance of the television market. However, the next day he informed me that a representative at Sony had informed him he was not allowed to do personal interviews with individuals. only ones approved through corporate. Shortly afterward, my messages went unanswered. So I had a new plan: get in contact with Sony corporate and turn my personal requests into a corporate one so he could talk with me. But unfortunately, all my emails to any public Sony email I could find went unanswered. I spent months going through every connection I had and could utilize and got nowhere. I never even got a no because I wasn't able to find someone to tell me no. No replies at all, and the messages I sent were probably never even read. So, unfortunately, despite my best efforts, I couldn't make that interview happen. This is why this video has taken so long. I spent well over a year attempting to find a way to make this interview happen. Maybe someday I'll meet someone who knows someone at Sony PR that can make this happen. If anyone watching has connections, please shoot me an email. I'd love to follow up this video with an interview someday. While the CRT was fully working, it's over 30 years old, so it does have a few issues. The most noticeable issue is the convergence, as shown here. Essentially, the alignment of the red, green, and blue beams need to be dialed in to all strike the same spot. This can be tuned and fixed. Other aspects of the geometry like size, centering, and rotation also needed to be adjusted. These are easily fixable as well. However, the bad news is that this CRT has a mild case of CRT cataracts. On older CRTs, a big sheet of glass is glued to the front to protect the user in the case of a CRT implosion. Over time, this glue can decompose, change color, and/or become delaminated. CRT cataracts can be cured, but it requires a very risky procedure that involves a lot of heat. During the heating and removal, there's a good chance the CRT could implode, rendering the tube destroyed and completely unrepairable. Given that this very well may be the last one in existence and that it's not particularly noticeable during gameplay, I'm not going to risk destroying it by performing such a risky procedure. The other repairs are not risky at all, but to know what to adjust, we would need the service manual. During our digging for historical information, we came across a forum post from 2005 by an individual making some bold claims. Not only did this Charles claim to have seen the TV in person back in the day, he also claimed to have a copy of the service manual. With some internet stalking, we found an email and I shot him a message. To my surprise, he replied the next day, claiming to still have it. Even more wild, he lived less than an hour away. We met up shortly afterward and boom, service manual acquired. Pretty crazy coincidence, but I'll take it. I don't consider myself qualified to work on such a rare, possibly last of its kind CRT on my own, so I was going to need help. I recruited some qualified members of the CRT community to fly down and help me tune the big boy up to its best self. First, there's Andy Gatza, a well-known member of the community for his digitizing experience and crazy hauls and adventures to broadcast studios across the country. Next, we have Rain, an international hobbyist in the community with both calibration and electrical engineering experience. Finally, we have Slick, a knowledgeable and well-respected monitor calibrating master. Slick is also the sole developer of Twilight Kingdom Saga, an early 2000s fantasy JRPG indie game currently in development. We spent several days, including one 17-hour marathon, dialing everything in the best we could, before we concluded that something just wasn't right. No matter how hard we tried, we couldn't get the geometry and convergence right. Finally, after countless hours of troubleshooting, we found out why. The dynamic convergence circuit, which dynamically compensates the convergence as the beam scans across the screen, had failed. Its job was to compensate, and it was compensating way too hard for us to uncompensate for. Although we narrowed down the problem area, Andy, Rain, and Slick had run out of time and had to fly back home. They were all extremely helpful in diagnosing and calibrating what could be done, but the work wasn't done yet. I still needed help fixing the dynamic convergence amplifier, and I couldn't do it alone. Luckily, Andrew from Andrew's Electronics, a 38-year-old pro who has been repairing vintage electronics since he was 9, was happy to help. He does repairs on pretty much everything, but old and obscure amplifier circuits like this one are his bread and butter. We meticulously removed, measured, tested, and replaced every necessary components in the dynamic convergence amplifier circuit. And after a few late nights, the dynamic convergence was finally working again. the TV was finally fully operational, but still needed more tuning. Shortly afterward, Agfa, another friend of mine in the CRT community, flew down to visit and helped me tune it a little more. And although there's still improvements that can be made, it was looking worlds better than when I got it. And I gotta say, in person, this thing looks incredible. It's just so hard to explain how much bigger this TV is in person than it looks on camera. Playing games on it is just wild, and it makes my other 37-inch monitor feel tiny by comparison. Like, when playing a 4-player split-screen game, every person has the equivalent of a 21-inch monitor. It's just such a cool and unique experience. While many will erroneously claim to have the world's largest CRT, there is only one KX45ED1. So remember at the beginning of this video, I talked about how this is like the holy grail of the CRT collecting scene? Given that I now had it in my possession, and almost nobody in the scene knew yet, I had a wonderful, once-in-a-lifetime posting opportunity. I wanted to see how the scene would react if the great white whale of the hobby fell into hands unworthy. So, I made a burner profile with a cringy but believable profile picture, joined a Facebook group, and started posting.
What is the biggest cert ever made? Sony PVM 4300 or the KX45 Ed1.
Thanks, I'll get that one.
No you won't.
Buying PVM 4300 KX45 Ed1, message me PLS thanks.
Y'all see that this guy wants to buy a PVM 4300.
Thanks for the help guys, I found one.
Is that what I think it is? Bruh, is this an actual PVM 4300 $100,000 TV with a cheap emulator and HDMI converter? I take it back, join my Discord. Friend request, private message, join my Discord. I don't believe this set is yours. Join my Discord. It doesn't look like 43 inches. Does the math. I love you. Tickle its screen and give it treats. Well, no wonder we're losing our This is the funniest setup ever. That thing will see nothing but HDMI to composite for the rest of its life. As it was destined to be. He probably has no idea what he's found. LOL. TBD owes Shank money. Fix the picture. Hook a real Nintendo to it. Where, how, what, when, Marie, why in the are you using a cheap emulator and converter? Join my Discord. Worse, that's a Retron 5. I'm irrationally mad they have that TV with that quote console unquote. Anyone have a forklift I can borrow? Starting my heist plan. You son of a if you've already had that 4300 for a couple weeks now and have just been setting up an elaborate troll, then goddamn that is the greatest setup and execution I have seen in 2+ decades on the internet. Bravo.
So there's one last story I'd like to tell you, and that's about our hero on the ground, Abibi. He really was the boots on the ground that made all this happen. But who even is he? Without even knowing me or my channel, he volunteered to help a stranger. I knew he was a game developer, but I didn't know much more than that. Well, a few weeks after it all went down, Bayonetta Origins, Cereza and the Lost Demon was announced, and Abibi as its director. That's right. He made all this happen during the final months leading up to the release of a game he was directing. The game was a passion project that received critical praise, but not as much attention as I think it deserved. I can't thank him enough, and if you think he's a hero too, make sure to go follow him and let him know. Making this video happen was really expensive and it took a lot of work. I still can't
I was just going to ignore this alien update here because it's so outrageous that it actually is insulting that people believe it, because if you look beyond the headline for just 2 sentences, you only need 2 sentences worth of work, you will realize that this is the most stupid, dumb fanfic that has been written since Tumblr was popular. about giants who built pyramids on Mars. This has gained some traction because a CIA document was declassified that talked about this experiment. If you can even call it an experiment, it feels more like everyone at the CIA headquarters was on PCP and just journaling their experience. It's about as much of an experiment as me putting my finger in my butt and seeing if it smells bad. Their method for reaching this conclusion, if you can even call it that, that's a loosey-goosey usage of the word conclusion, was they induced an altered state of consciousness through sound frequencies that split a person's spirit from their body, and they astral projected them 1,000,000 years before humanity onto Mars, where they claim they saw giants building pyramids. That is the actual intelligence gathering method the CIA used to crack the mystery of Mars. It's about as reliable as me saying I had a dream about giants building pyramids on Mars, thus it must be true. Like, whoever came up with this was watching way too much Doctor Who at the time. So it was stated in one of the CIA projects, Stargate, in the report Exploration of Mars, May 22nd, 1984. Literally 1984, holy shit. However, the sensational data was obtained in extremely dubious ways, according to British Daily Mail. By the way, the Daily Mail is like the main source that all of this comes from. I can't believe Daily Mail has made such a fucking comeback as a tabloid. It's unbelievable. But anyway, so what happened is, the agency recruited people who claimed to have psychic abilities. Well, that sounds trustworthy. People claiming to be psychics. Surely nobody lied about their psychic abilities. They fucking recruited Mob Psycho out here. Then they included binaural rhythms, simultaneous listening to sounds at different frequencies, and semi-synchronized audio to induce altered state of consciousness, separate the spirit from body, and send it traveling through the astral. It's a fucking anime plot. Like, this is something you'd see from, like, a garbage tier anime of just mumbo jumbo. But this is something the CIA apparently actually did. And according to one of the psychic subjects, they got sent to Mars 1,000,000 years before our era and found out Mars had pyramids similar to the Egyptian ones, but then the giants had to look for a new place to live because their environment was spoiled. Well, that settles it. I always knew that that's what was going on in Antarctica. And then instead, there's a chance that the psychics in here also had that kind of mistreatment, which is a terrible thing. Project Stargate was shut down in 1995, and then leading up to its closure was Mars Exploration, May 22nd, 1984, which is a document that was declassified in 2017, but only recently resurfaced. And it kind of goes over the North at 9.55. The subject claims to have even spoken with one of the people who told them that the group had left in what looks like the inside of a larger boat. Maybe some kind of ark, perchance, drawing inspiration from the Bible on Mars, maybe, who knows? Also, how would one of the people have spoken to the person that astral projected there? You're telling me that the ancient giant Martians saw a fucking Force ghost pop in there like Obi-Wan Kenobi and they just started, like, trauma dumping to the astral projection? Really? Like, hey, far be it from me to question the wisdom of the Martians, I suppose. The administrator keeps pressing the subject to go.
On December 4th, 2024, our alleged shooter, Luigi Mangione, laid in wait in the streets of New York City to eventually shoot and kill CEO of United Healthcare, Brian Thompson, in cold blood.
A premeditated, pre-planned, targeted attack.
This is one of the most interesting assassinations in recent history, in my opinion, mostly due to the public reaction. There was an immediate outpouring of support and condemnation from both sides, seeming to cross party lines entirely, but garnering an uncharacteristic amount of support from both the right and the left. But my expertise is not in social sciences. My expertise is in the firearm space. And in this particular case, there was so much bad information spread not only by individuals on the internet, but also mainstream media sources and even law enforcement agencies like the NYPD. I was sitting there gritting my teeth listening to so-called experts weigh in on the firearm that was used and some of the details in the video, meanwhile getting it all flamboyantly fucking wrong. So that is the purpose of the video that we are making here today. We're going to attempt to shed some light on what actually happened and dispelling some of the incorrect theories that gained a lot of traction, largely thanks to our friends at the mainstream media. So let's start with one of the biggest lies that gained a lot of footing very early on. The weapon used. So if you ask a fucking moron, they'll tell you that the weapon used by the assassin was the B&T Station 6, or some variant thereof. This is a single-shot, integrally suppressed pistol, this one in particular being chambered in .45, and it makes sense why someone would choose this as, you know, the stereotypical assassin gun. It looks cool, it looks sexy, and anyone who knows anything about firearms knew immediately that this is not what was used. That didn't stop the news media from going on and on about how this was absolutely the gun.
That looks like the B&T VP9.
Fuck, the NYPD was saying that this was the gun. Well, let's show you how this gun works and why it's clearly not the gun. So being a single shot, the way this gun functions is you have this knob here at the rear. This gun is currently in the locked and ready to fire position. To chamber a round, you unscrew this a quarter turn, which unlocks the locking lugs, which allows the bolt to come back, and you can load a round into the chamber and then do a quarter turn back to the right, relocking it in place. You have a magazine here from which the gun feeds, load that up, and then every single round you have to reset it like that. Based on the actual movements of Luigi Mangione, you could tell he was running a slide. He was not rotating, pulling back, pushing back forward, and rotating again. It just, the biomechanics didn't make any sense from the surveillance video. That being said, this is a really cool gun, so we're not gonna turn down the opportunity to shoot it. Also, the Form 3 did not clear in time for us to make this video, so we appreciate our friends at Mission Ridge for allowing us to have a conjugal visit. Got 3 rounds loaded here. This one again, 45 ACP. Lowering my insurance premiums in 3, 2, 1. Come on, there you go.
Oh, Jane! Oh, just like the real.
Honestly, even shooting inside, it's pretty damn quiet. That's very hearing safe. You do have to squeeze down pretty hard on that grip safety. That's a little weird. And the trigger is honestly not awesome. But as you can see, clearly fully capable of getting the job done. But despite the overnight experts identifying this as the pistol that was used in the assassination, let's talk about what actually got used.
All right, I'm just gonna put this out there. This is a hilariously relevant ad for this video. So guys, look, none of us really wanna talk about debt, but the truth is a lot of us will go even deeper into debt during the holiday. Maybe it's you. It's cool. Payments every more ineligible.
Can you believe YouTube puts ads before CPR videos? If you never want to see another ad again, get Pi right.
Actually is it is a Glock 19 upper on a printed frame. This exact model, actually. This was based on the FMDA 19.2 Chairman Juan remix. While that may sound like a dubstep track, what it actually is the model this frame was based on, including the built-in stippling, which you see in the photo as well. Now the slide is a little bit more Gucci than his. This is actually just one I pulled off from my Danger Close Armament Glock, but it's the only Gen 3 Glock slide I had that would work with this particular print model. It also features this threaded barrel. This is for use of the also printed suppressor that he used. Now there are no photos currently circulating of the can itself, but we're pretty sure it's between one of two. This one here we're using is the Vent 9. The other is the Playboy or PLA Boy FTN3, I believe, which would require a carbon fiber wrap. There's some debate on which one that was used. We just have this one because it is easier. But of any of the popular printed cans currently, I think those fit the profile the best. Either way, the results should be fairly similar between the two of them, so that part doesn't really matter too much. So now what we're gonna do, and either way, the results should be fairly similar between the two of them, so that part doesn't really matter too much. Either way, the results should be fairly similar between the two of them, so that part doesn't really matter too much. So now what we're gonna do, and just showing clear just for safety reasons. I'm gonna thread on this spacer, which allows us to then thread on our suppressor. And now we're going to test fire. So what we're gonna do here is recreate the malfunction that Luigi seemed to experience every round, and then talk about exactly why that is. Now, printing technology, when it comes to firearms especially, has come a long way over the last few years. Unfortunately, it's kind of hard to figure that out, especially on YouTube, because their guidelines are so strict. It is an immediate age restriction, possibly a removal and a strike, to give instructions on how to 3D print, let's say, a suppressor or a frame or anything like that. Do not pass go, do not collect $200. They fucking hate this stuff. But I'm still including it in this video for two reasons. One, I find it important for public interest just to demonstrate the actual tools that were used in this incident. Two, YouTube's policy actually specifically states homemade. Nothing you're seeing before you is actually homemade in any capacity. I'm a federally licensed 0702 manufacturer's FFL. We manufacture firearms all the time. It is perfectly legal. Everything you're seeing in front of you was made by a licensed firearm manufacturer and is actually serialized and marked accordingly. Legally speaking, and in accordance to YouTube guidelines, nothing you see here is any different than shooting a factory-made Glock. So YouTube, by the letter of the law, we are compliant with your guidelines, in your own words. Now, if somebody in your company doesn't like that, they're gonna have to change the rules, which I'm sure they would love to do without notice. Fucking over creators. Again. Anyhow, let's shoot it. Test firing. 3, 2, 1.
That's nice.
It's actually really not bad. The loudest part of that by far was hitting the steel. Honestly, that really wasn't bad. Even though you're pro, that's actually pretty decent for, especially for a 3D printed can. But, real moment of truth, that is our empty shell casing that didn't eject. The reason for that is that this gun requires something that this suppressor does not have, which is a Nielsen device. This next part's for all you Metal Gear Solid fans. This is the HK Mark 23. Definitely one of my favorite genders. German-made 45 caliber handgun. And the suppressor we have for it today is the rugged Obsidian 45. Great pistol can, and it includes what is known as a Nielsen device, which is particularly useful for shooting suppressed handguns and actually having them cycle. So I take this out the back, and so just behind our end cap we have a spring and a booster, both of which are incredibly dirty. Now what this does, instead of just direct threading on a tube that has baffles inside of it to the end of your gun, this gives it a little bit of extra oomph for some recoil-operated pistols to actually be able to function. Really not much more to it than that. Literally everything else is just, again, tube with baffles. But you pop this sucker in, thread that on over the top, and then now, when we actually thread it onto our pistol, like so, again for safety, showing unloaded, you can see that when it fires, we've got movement on the can, which allows us to be able to fire a suppressed handgun and allow it to cycle. A lot of the so-called experts were saying that the reason why Luigi's pistol was jamming was because he was using subsonic ammo, because he was some sort of professional. What we're using here in this pistol is subsonic 45 ACP. As you can see, no issues whatsoever. Even one-handed, still cycles just fine. This is not the variable, this is. But just to be thorough, let's take our Assassination GAT back out and load it up with a supersonic, really standard velocity 9mm full metal jacket, and verify that this does not cycle either. As you see, the slide was back just a little bit there and then slid back forward, very much like the video. And we have our empty fired casing that did not eject. So even with supersonic ammo, the gun still doesn't cycle. So if you're trying to be stealthy, might as well use subs. So now that we're pretty sure we know the tools that were used, the only thing left is to put it to the test by trying to recreate it. Let's see how close we got.
Keep your money local and liquid with our new member savings account. Make the switch to Rivermark today.
No shit. That was actually perfect with that malfunction. We could not have planned that better. No shit. That was actually perfect with that malfunction. We could not have planned that better. I was wondering, because my time was going to come in way faster no matter what, because I wasn't planning on having a malfunction, but I guess nobody does. So yeah, we'll look back on the footage and see how close that was. Yeah, that was pretty spot on. I think it's pretty safe to say that was pretty close. Given what we now know about all the facts of the case, this is probably one of the better representations. But now, just because we have it out, what would an actual pro use? Part of this feels kind of wrong, but I mean, we're already out here.
Coat.
As you can see, the entire demeanor of that was much less awkward. However, I mean, the outcome was the same, so who am I? Can't argue with results.
Whatever it might be, this 50-year-old man is now deceased.
Now, people have been using the fact that it was a printed gun and printed suppressor to start spreading more fear-mongering about ghost guns and 3D printing in general. Why isn't this stuff regulated? In Luigi Mangione's own words, all this took was, quote, basic CAD. And even if you take 3D printing out of the situation entirely, homemade suppressors have been a thing pretty much as long as suppressors have been a thing. I promise you, any redneck you ask, any real one anyway, has stories of a buddy that made makeshift suppressors out of oil filters. The only thing that's changed is that now there's a new technology being introduced to do the same thing people were doing before, but now most people aren't familiar with it, and it sounds scary. I don't like it when those people try to weaponize ignorance. The more people learn,
That's good.
It's Ma calling and Papa. I'm leaving a message.
Hi, baby girl. Just want to say I love you. I love you more than you will ever know.
Hi, honey.
Hey, Grandma. At Job Corps, you could work towards a career.
Job Corps provides free schooling, free tuition, free housing.
Ask any Fortnite pro who the hardest player to fight is, and 9 times out of 10, they will say Vino. He lands at Grand Glacier, and after getting an easy first elim, he gets shot attempting to fight the boss. Now, Vino's immediate reaction here is to create some space to fight from, but strangely, he doesn't place a cone in any of these boxes. Now, the opponent seeing this thinks he has an opening where he can slide a cone or a ramp into this box while he wall replaces, so he starts spraying the wall. However, this is just a trap. Vino knows that the other player is either going to swing his pickaxe or assault rifle the wall, so as soon as as the opponent gets close enough, he places a cone straight away to ensure he doesn't get ramped over, and then immediately does a top row edit, catching the opponent off guard and hitting him for 56 damage. Now after resetting the wall, it's weak, so Vino instinctively edits a cone to block any potential return fire from the opponent. Now that he has this HP advantage, he edits out the right hand side of his box and sprint builds up some ramps to gain height, and then the other players just decided to disengage, so he's easily able to chase him down and wipe him out. And most of Vino's fighting style is made up of these very simple but effective mechanics. Later in this match, Vino has just captured his combat cache and he sees someone nearby. He immediately switches to metal since he has extra in his box and it's the strongest material, and then he sprint ramps above the opponent to give himself the height advantage. From here he can see that the other player has left his back wall open, so he drops down and attempts to place 2 cones to take this build piece from behind. However, this is unsuccessful as the other player has created a second box. Since the opponent has just placed this wall, Vino tries to break through it with his AR and grab the middle wall between the 2 boxes. However, he misses the timing and is left in a really awkward bad position. Understanding that the opponent could just edit on him and hit him, he jumps and edits the cone underneath him to block any shots. He places a wall to his left before creating more space backwards. Now this wall here is very important, remember it. This makes the opponent think he's the opportunity to shoot, so of course he edits the wall in an attempt to shoot Vino, but he is, as you can predict, blocked by the cone, so he resets. Now Vino, knowing the opponent's wall has freshly just been edited and reset and is now weak, he goes over the top of the builds and drops down to the important wall that he placed earlier. He does this carefully, however, placing a wall in front of him to block any edit from the opponent's box and a cone to stand on to ensure he doesn't get ramped over. This blocking off of angles is a trend we'll see throughout most of his fights. So he edits through the important wall, and in this situation most people would try to replace the opponent's freshly reset weak wall. However, Vino does not do this. Instead, he simply breaks it with 1 pickaxe swing and hits a 78 damage shot to give him the HP advantage. It seems like wall replacing would be better in this situation, but sometimes when enemies' walls are so weak that you can break them in 1 pickaxe and it's clear that they're not paying attention, you can get some really easy opening damage this way. Now that he has the advantage, Vino also doesn't just run into the box and try to finish the fight quickly, as he could still die and throw the entire game. And since his fight will attract a lot of third parties with snipers, he quickly boxes himself up to ensure he's safe before continuing to pressure the other player. However, this opponent tries to run away with a grapple blade, so he does a slight little jump on top of the box to give himself the best sight lines and hits an absolute bang of a snipe. But this isn't the only way that Vino uses the snipe in fights. He actually uses it to box fight. Vino spots an enemy boxed up using a big pot to heal, so he knows that he already has the advantage in this fight. Now since there's 44 players up in the 6th zone, there's a ton of people who could third party this fight, so he actually creates 2 boxes on approach to ensure he doesn't get shot in the back. Vino then uses the sniper to no-scope the wall, and in the same action places a wall behind him that he missed. This snipe deals 110 structure damage, meaning now he can break the wall in 2 pickaxe swings instead of 4. However, he fails to steal the wall. However, his muscle memory here is what's really important. Notice how before he goes to edit, Vino pulls out his shotgun. This means that if he fails to steal the wall, his attempt to edit it will instead fire the shotgun, which will weaken the wall so that it can be replaced by a single pickaxe. This means that with the sniper no-scope and then the shotgun shot in combination, he manages to do 2 wall replaces in around 2.5 seconds, but apparently the opponent is German or French, so he fails to steal it for a second time. But this time, rather than pressing his shotgun button before editing, he switches to his assault rifle and does the exact same thing, this time successfully. This means that Vino was able to get 3 wall replace attempts done in under 4 seconds, while being fully protected with his crosshair aimed at the opponent in case they edit. You may think this doesn't sound very impressive, but watch this from the opponent's perspective.
Hey Daniel, I'm dying. What? To tell you, I'm having a heart attack. What? I need you to go to YouTube and look up how to do CPR. Oh God.
He then manages to get a ton of damage by just spraying, so since the opponent is blocked off this angle with a bunch of ramps, he moves around to the side and switches up the angle that he's attacking at, again ensuring he's completely protected. However, at this point he sees the opponent attempt to run, and this has not gone well for any of the other players so far, so Vino does something that's incredibly simple, but that most players are yet to have in their muscle memory: a sprint jump. Now, since jumping out of a box on a cone is a very precise action that requires you to stand almost completely in the top of the cone that's inside of your box and have some forward momentum, you can actually just do a small sprint jump, which increases the height of your jump by around 1/4 of a tile. Since you can also edit while sprinting, Vino can sprint, jump, and edit the top of the box to get outside of it, and then build a ramp to land on to quickly elevate himself up 2 tiles, which allows him to finish off the running player. Now, if you want to practice any of these mechanics, I've just released my first UFN map called the 1v1 Practice Hub, which has specific wall replacing and piece control scenarios you can practice against other players. Or you can just do classic build fights, bot fights, realistic, zone wars, clutch fights, aim duels, some zero blood practice, or any combination of these through our unique voting system. You can use the code that's on screen or search 1v1 practice sub or resub to find it, and I'm following back some people on Twitter who favorite the map, so let me know how you like it and if there's anything I can improve on it. One thing you may notice is that Vino always carries the Flowberry Fizz instead of the Grapple Blade. This not only allows him to carry 2 heals and mobility, but it frees up an inventory slot for a sniper. During this cash cup, I'm pretty sure his accuracy of the sniper was like over 80%. Please don't fact check that though, but that's not the only reason the Flowberry Fizz is worth carrying. Vino starts his fight by sliding 2 cones into an opponent's box from beneath, before going for the wall replace, where he's able to open the fight with a 73 damage. In this cash cup, find it, and I'm following back some people on Twitter, is that Vino always carries the Flowberry Fizz instead of the Grapple Blade. This not only allows him to carry 2 heals and mobility, but it frees up an inventory slot for a sniper. During this cash cup, I'm pretty sure his accuracy of the sniper was like over 80%. Please don't fact check that though, but that's not the only reason the Flowberry Fizz is worth carrying. Vino starts his fight by sliding 2 cones into an opponent's box from beneath, before going for the wall replace, where he's able to open the fight with a 73 damage shot. He does a bit of an awkward peek after this to hit another 28 damage shot, but is chunked back in return and now has to heal. Since the opponent has distanced himself, Vino takes this time to pop a few ticks of the Fizz. Now when you jump and slide with the Flowberry effect, your movement speed is increased. Most people just use this to rotate, however here, as Vino is falling, he no-scopes the wall and then slides with his pickaxe out in an attempt to swing through the wall and get into the opponent's box. Unfortunately, this was a metal wall and it was a little bit too strong to go through in this one phase, but after finishing up this fight, he does this later in the game. Now in the end game, he cracks a player who's flying through the sky using a grapple blade, and this player boxes up on low ground. He places 2 cones and slides on them while timing his 2 burst shots to break through the wall and slide straight into the box, picking up an easy elim. If you're the opponent in this situation, this is incredibly difficult to counter because you have almost 0 time to react. But you also don't necessarily need the Flowberry effect, as Vino didn't do it on that 10th elim and he didn't do it on this 6th elim in the game either. However, the Flowberry effect makes it much easier because you'll be moving faster, which means you have a much higher likelihood of actually going through the wall. Plus, you can do this from higher and you won't take fall damage. Now, most of these players are relatively good. However, in some early games, you will face some not so great players. And Vino uses a few ways to bait these players to pick up absolutely free elims. In this game, he lands at Snooty Steps, and after clearing out a few players of spawn and grabbing the Mythic Hammer Pump and the medallion, he drops down to the vault. Now, it's really common for players to push here for the additional loot, so he blocks off every exit as you always should, and he hears some footsteps of a player sneaking around him. This is where he makes the big brain play of just shooting the floor. The opponent, thinking there's a fight down here, starts to break through the builds and of course is met by a big pump shot. And this isn't the only funny bait he uses either. Later in the match, Vino notices a player boxed up in a 2x2x2 box on a combat cache. Now, I don't know about you, but this smells of a player who does not want to fight and probably is not that good. Editing Reese here, I checked, this guy follows me on Twitter, I'm sorry. Seeing this, Vino immediately ramps onto height and pulls out his cone to see if the opponent is sitting in one of these cones. Now, if you didn't know, if there's a player holding edit inside a cone, then there'll be a lock symbol on your crosshair and you can easily identify where they are. But after not finding him in there, he drops down to a sidewall and starts swinging. He opens this with a nice 40 tag to get some damage onto the other player, and given the obvious visuals, he feels safe enough just to jump straight into the box and end the fight quickly. Both players drop down onto the lower layer, and the opponent is positioned right up against this wall in this corner. Now, this is a telltale sign that he's going to do a peanut butter edit peek and go for a shot, so Vino just moves towards the wall on his left. Now, this blocks part of his body from the opponent's view, giving him a much better right-hand peek. If he actually moves around halfway back into the box, he'll be completely hidden from the opponent's perspective and he'll actually still be able to see them. From here, he just repeatedly tries to bait the opponent into an edit, knowing he has the better peek and the HP advantage. He just keeps taking out his pickaxe, fake swinging and cancelling it by switching back to his shotgun, and he does this 3 times until the other player eventually just edits on him and he's able to out-trade him from the better angle. Hopefully some of these fighting tips were helpful, and don't forget to check out...
That's crazy. I don't even video that's not long. Alright, I gotta go. I gotta take a nap.